floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon. We have a short slide deck and then some comments to share, and I certainly welcome any questions. Auditor Minko and I first would like to thank the commissioners and all of their staff for their continued support of the data center and our services. It's very much appreciated. Like to just refresh our 2016 strategic initiatives.
Thank you. Click. Include 4 strategic initiatives that we align our work to. One is to optimize the maintenance and support services for the data center's existing service catalog as measured by cost, quality, and risk. To promote collaboration between the data center and our county partners for technology solutions, providing all the agencies the opportunity to leverage the data center shared services, allowing them to invest more on their agency's core missions. Our third strategic initiative is to enhance the user experience through modernization and service enhancements, providing operational efficiencies through automation, through digital solutions, and through improved user experiences by way of self-service capabilities. And then fourth, and certainly not least important, is enhanced data privacy and protection through the strengthening of our enterprise security and governance practices. So those were our key strategic initiatives. With that, I would say the data center has been very fortunate, first of all, to recruit some great technology leadership. Along with that factor, we have an extremely dedicated staff across the entire data center who make unconditional commitments to service. And with that, we've been really enabled to accomplish a lot this year. And a couple of things I want to highlight. By the end of this year, we will have responded to over 12,000 customer service requests. We will have blocked over 18 million spam attempts. We will have configured hundreds of security parameters to block millions of nefarious network access attempts. We will have processed over 12 million email transactions for the county. We will have printed over 2.1 million pages of output, and we will have backed up over almost 2 petabytes of file storage and data. On top of that, we have completed 35 large and complex projects, and I'd like to highlight a few of the key ones that have really added value. First is the successful completion of the multi-year Franklin County Data Network Disaster Recovery Program. Among other capabilities that this has provided, the most, I think, valuable is the end-to-end architecture and engineering of real-time redundancy for all of the data center's network, applications, and data storage components. They're replicated over to a secondary site real-time, and for any of the agencies that utilize the data center's centralized services, this solution provides a state-of-the-art capability that ensures uninterrupted availability of all of their systems. Also, we've spent a lot of time and effort expanding the utilization of the data center shared services, which optimizes costs for all the users and reduces risk. We've added a number of agencies and groups to either our networking, our virtualized computer services, our data storage and backup, or our IT and desktop support services. And just to name a few, includes the Public Defender's Office, the Prosecuting Attorney, Animal Control, the Auditor's Office, Board of Elections, COSIC, and the Recorder's Office, among others. We've also expanded the utilization of the data center's enterprise content management applications. These are applications that provide functionality for efficient service operations and significantly enhances the digital government experience for the residents using those services. Key agency initiatives in this space included the Child Support Enforcement Agency, who had multiple deployments of an automated workflow solution, the Auditor's Office Board of Revision's automated workflow enhancements, the creation of a talent management onboarding application, along with enhancing several agencies' existing enterprise content management applications for much stronger audit and compliance capabilities. We've also enriched the user experience through several modernization efforts. Much of this has been focused in the web space, building new or refreshing existing Franklin County websites to create a fresher, more modern user experience, to provide mobile compatibility, and to ensure ADA compliance. Some of the newest websites include multiple sites for the Board of Elections around the interactive election results tracking, around election worker registration, and modern sample ballot forms. Also, the Opiate Crisis Task Force website was created for the Coroner's Office. We've modernized the county's dog licensing website for the Auditor's Office, have engaged with the Commissioner's Office both through the HR Wellness site and through the Commissioner's homepage. We've modernized several applications, including the Treasurer's online payment application, expanded the use of court forms, and moved 4 settlement applications out of the legacy iSeries platform and onto more modern and secure technologies. And then lastly, we've spent a good amount of time and effort enhancing the Franklin County data privacy and protection through heightened security practices and governance, including several assessment projects. We engaged with a third-party vendor and performed a very thorough vulnerability assessment of all layers of our current tech stack, from which we will baseline a cybersecurity roadmap here in the first quarter of 2017. We've also engaged with Microsoft to assess Franklin County's user access control practices, along with our Active Directory architecture, and then re-engineering recommendations to best practices. We have procured identity management system, which is targeted for 2017 implementation. And we have significantly focused our core operations efforts on currentness. So ensuring ensuring we're on current and supported versions of all software, hardware, operating systems, web browsers, applications, all components, and implementing a timely and thorough patch management, testing, and deployment protocol to remain current. We've also launched mobile device management, and we implemented a source control system for code-based control and management. And we did spend a lot of time this year with our partners at the Board of Elections ensuring readiness. On the next slide, as you can see, our 2017 strategic initiatives are very similar. There remains lots of opportunity within that space to continue to add value. You know, we're continue to remain focused on optimizing the maintenance and support services for our user community. Again, optimization of cost, of service quality, and of risk. And then we really have a focus on any reductions that we recognize in these operating expenses. You know, the data center can make a greater investment of time and resource towards innovation and modernization with that same responsible fiscal footprint. Our second goal, collaborate and advance the extensible shared solutions that we have, leveraging, again, reliable and cost-effective centralized or shared services. Individual agencies can focus on their core mission. The data center will continue to do information sharing to promote this cost-effective and scalable model. Innovate and modernize. We're going to continue to advocate and champion for initiatives and the funding that will enhance the user experience, modernize some of our risky and outdated applications, and create a common framework to use for enterprise content management solutions that enables more automated and digital solutions. With the tentative funding that OMB has provided, we are committed to modernize 10 to 13 out of the 50 legacy agency websites to provide that enhanced user experience, mobile enablement, and ADA compliance. And then lastly, you know, data privacy and protection will remain a key initiative, I think, on any technology roadmap for years to come. Data privacy and protection, it requires collaborative effort between people, processes, and the technology itself that will continue together increase the data protection. We will continue the work that has begun in 2016, governing user access control protocols, continuing to deploy mobile device security, governing and managing network and user security systems. And once we have finalized the cybersecurity roadmap that will be required to mitigate all the existing vulnerabilities that were identified, we look forward to working with OMB, bless you, on the subsequent funding that will be required to support that roadmap. And then lastly, just again want to share, you know, technology is a journey, it's a continuum, it's not a point in time. Readily evident to all of us is the just complete integration of technology and business and culture. Technology users demand instant tech gratifications for their needs. The underlying digital fusion that is required to satisfy this mandate really compels technology to expand at the same speed of that ideation. The imperative for all technology providers is to adapt or fail, and adapters will acknowledge and solve for some really unarguable facts. Technology is embedded. It's embedded in everything we do and everyone. Users have operationalized themselves to expect 24/7, 365 uptime of their technology solutions. The ever-increasing fast pace of ideation, change, and adoption is real. The increased diversity, complexity of technology, including mobility, social computing, really anything as a service, cognitive solutions, business intelligence, those are all now facets that are a fundamental part of technology, along with the realities of the exponential data distribution that comes from it. The reality that demand for technology always exceeds capacity, and that there is stiff competition to attract, retain, and develop talent is everything, our ability to compete. And cybersecurity will remain a constant adaptation. But with all of those challenges, the Franklin County Data Center is highly committed to providing outstanding support to our users, our partner agencies, and the citizenry. The future of technology is changing, and we're rapidly changing with it. With the county's ongoing support, we'll leverage the best talent, technology, and practices to build a brighter and more valuable future for Franklin County. And I welcome any questions that you may have.
Great. Got a lot on your plate.
Oh, never a boring moment.
In part of your testimony today, you referenced modernizing our risky, and that was your word.
Yes, ma'am.
And outdated legacy COBOL. And it's frightening to think how long COBOL has been around, and that we're still using those applications. Are there specifics you can share today or perhaps later while we're continuing to deliberate this budget as to how you would seek to address those points? Because I think that's very critical.
I agree with your comments. So we currently have 6 agencies still using 22 applications on this legacy COBOL, some as old as 30 years. We have specific roadmap items in flight for 4 of those applications, but 18 of them really remain unaddressed. We did request funding for it. It did not necessarily get approved. So as I said, we'll continue to make the case and look for solutions for those 18.
Terry, what was the funding request amount that you requested that was not?
It was $1,270,000.
Okay.
And it was placed in a bucket for further discussion. Not recommended by OMB, but instead they requested additional details and that we would work together on that in the coming year.
Okay, so that
Thank
is
you.
something that we can address, or this commission can address next year, hopefully, because I think it's really, I think to not address this would be unwise.
Absolutely. As you know, there's the second party evaluation taking place. As soon as that's complete, we'll work very
Right.
closely with the OMB team and county administrator early in the year to decide what's the best game plan for that and how do we move forward as a team.
Thank you.
Commissioners, Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. Has been pointed out by leadership of the data center, OMB and County Administration fully intends to work with them over the course of the next fiscal year and stage these projects out, and also ensure that everything has been fully vetted and we've gone through the data center and the data board process. And when those projects are online and viable for funding, we will proceed forward.
And I think that makes sense, as long as we do it in a way that we are very cautious, make sure that everything is done well. As soon as we do it, we know it's gonna be out of date, as always with technology. However, we wanna work with you and make sure it's done right
Yep.
and done well.
And I have to say, in the last 4 years since I've been in this position, I don't think there's a time that I have not come to OMB and the county administration team that they have not worked wonderfully with us, and we appreciate that.
Yep, and our priority will be to frame, as Ken so eloquently mentioned, really the security, the risk-based items, so we have that roadmap in place. And then certainly the opportunities for other things can be placed around that, but that will be our highest priority, is to mitigate those
The
vulnerabilities.
I guess-
security is very important.
Yeah.
I guess
We
I'm-
all know that.
I'm just reacting to the language that you used in the testimony, referring to this as risky and the 30 years of very dated applications. And I think if we're hearing that today, we have a duty to respond and to make certain that this gets addressed. Thank you.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Back up track.
Got 5 more minutes. Caught up. Behind, you got 5 minutes.
What? How does that